Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. This is the astrological forecast for May 17th through May 23rd of 2020. This is a general forecast, meaning it is attempting to give an overview to about 8 billion people on the planet. Therefore, if what I tell you, what I say, does not seem to fit, check out the location of your moon, your Mars, your ascendant, and your Neptune. You can find these listed on your natal chart, or you can drop me a line at any one of the contacting lines below and ask, and I'll be more than happy to look it up for you. So, shall we get started here? Oh, guess before we do, if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you can get any of the new videos coming out. I get out as many as I can on a regular basis. Most of the time it's once a day, but you'll come to understand that. Sometimes more than that. In any event, subscribe to the channel and please share the link with everybody that you know. Thank you so much, and shall we get on with it? First card, an overview. This applies to everybody. It's a general view of what's going on in the week to come. We have the Four of Wands. Now, the Four of Wands indicates harmony. The coming week, you're going to find things come back into balance a little bit more. You'll find complications that you've been dealing with, whether they're at home or at work. Doesn't matter. They're starting to come back into balance. Now, this does require that you take responsibility for your own actions. Because in all fairness, the only person that you personally have control over is you. Yes, you have responsibilities, but ultimately, it's up to you to actually control you. Controlling somebody else isn't going to work. Now, Aries, the King of Wands. This indicates that there is a lot of work coming your way, but you are in control of it. Now, again, you're in control of you. So, this shows you've got the strength to get up, and at least the strength of will. Now, some of you may find that your body doesn't quite work as well as you'd like. Work within your limits. Absolutely push them, but remember, pushing too hard can cause more problems. Okay, it's kind of like taking a branch. If you can bend it, you can move it a little, but if you bend it too far, you'll break it. Same idea. Know your limits and work within them. Now, Taurus. Now, we know the Taurians on the whole have a very stubborn streak. This is the Empress, and it shows a lot of prosperity coming your direction. This is going to be a good week for you. Even when there are complications, there will be a way, you'll find a way relatively easily to discover the positive side of it. Okay, the Empress is an excellent card because it brings about fertility. In other words, thoughts that you've been thinking of, you'll get a little more clarity on. Conversations you've been having with people are going to start making a little more sense. And even some of the long-standing projects that have been on hold are finally starting to come to fruition. They're starting to bloom. Now, Gemini, we have the Ten of Wands. Tripped over that one. We have the Ten of Wands. Now, because it's inverted, what it indicates is a lot of stress being finally put down, being put aside, so that you can actually get on with your life. Okay. Again, this will help with the overall issue of bringing harmony back into your life. You deposit some of the stress away from you, and you'll find things coming to balance a lot more readily. Okay, now, Cancer. Cancer, we have the Seven of Swords. Now, this indicates success. Not total success. You're not likely to get everything you're aiming for, but it does show that as long as you stay focused on the task at hand, you will be able to bring about a positive shift on it. and a positive outcome. It's something to build on in the future. And by the way, the future can be a minute down the road. It's not, we're not talking way down the road, we're talking now. Okay. Now, Leo. Leo does have the Hangman. Now, the Hangman indicates that this is the time, in spite of all the benefits that are coming up around you, take a step back and remember you don't have to be working 24/7. The Hangman cautions you that putting your feet up once in a while is a good thing. Okay, so don't do your best not to take on the pressure of, I have to get things done today. Now, don't get me wrong, I do not mean postpone everything, but do things in stages. Okay. When I talk about putting your feet up, make sure one of those projects that you're working on throughout the day is take a little time to rest, to breathe, so that you have the energy to do everything else. Virgo, we have the Two of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands says that you yourself are finally getting back into control of your own life. Now, you'll notice I said that was your own life, because that's the only life you can control. You can influence other people, you can encourage them to go directions, but the only one that you can absolutely control is you. Okay. Now, Libra, we have the King of Swords. Now, this shows that you have the foresight. The picture that you've got in your head of where you would like your life to go is a sound one. It does require planning, and don't forget, if you're not totally capable of planning what you're aiming at or what you'd like to see happen, it's not a question of knowing how to do everything. It's a question of realizing you do have the ability to go out and ask somebody else for help. Prime example from me. When I have a problem with my car, I will go to a mechanic because I don't have the knowledge to work on a car properly. Okay, ask for help when you require it. Okay, now Scorpio. Scorpio, we have the Five of Cups. Now, you may find you're being extremely emotional today in spite of everything else, or this week rather. With that in mind, take a moment to, when you're starting to feel overwhelmed, take a moment to sit down, really look at what you're going through and ask yourself, do I have personal control over what I'm going through? What can I do to make what I'm going through feel better? Okay. And again, asking other people for help is not a bad move. Okay. What do we got here? Now, Sagittarius. What do we got going on? Sagittarius, we have the Ace of Swords inverted. Now, this means that the battle is essentially over. You've gone through the conflicts, you've gone through the struggle. So now is the time to sit down and go, okay, what's my next move? This is where you put the sword down, where you put the shovel down, and really look at what you've accomplished and what your next goal is. And again, get that goal on paper where you can actually get a handle on it. By the way, in case I haven't made it clear before, the reason for putting it on paper is so if you desire to show somebody else what you're up to, you've got the tools to do it. Now, Capricorn, what do we have going on with Capricorn? Well, Capricorn has the Four of Pentacles. Now, this indicates that finances are starting to loosen up. This does not mean you can go out and spend everything you've got coming in. Technically, you can, but it's a bad idea. But it does mean that the finances are starting to move, that you're starting to get that cash flow back. Be careful you don't try and catch up on everything at the same time. Okay. I mean, everything that you owe has to be paid, no question there. Okay, and much as there are ways of getting around it, strongly recommend that you find a way to meet the demands of obligations that you've made before. For instance, regardless of how long ago, regardless of when it started, in today's world, if you owe money to somebody from whenever, work to get it paid back. Okay, from a spiritual standpoint, definitely the right move. Okay, now, Aquarius, we have the Lovers. This shows a unification between the spiritual world and the material one. Okay, so this is showing, again, we've got balance coming back in. Things are finally starting to move forward. This is a good thing. Now remember, they're not going to go back the way they were. The past world is already over. There is nothing you can do to bring it back. Primarily because you can't go back to the past. Okay, now Pisces, we have the King of Cups. This is telling you, with you being as emotional as you tend to be, and as much of an emotional extremist on occasion, this is telling you, take a moment to think things through before acting on what you're feeling. Okay, remember, your future depends on you, and it's a balance between the spiritual, the emotional, the mental, and the physical worlds. Hence, the Harmony card at the beginning. Now, tying this all off, we have the Five of Wands inverted. This shows peace is coming in this week. The arguments you've been having, the struggles you've been going through, are coming to a close, thanks very much to your own efforts. Okay, now, as I said at the beginning of the reading, we had the Four of Wands, indicating harmony. At the end of it, tying it off, we have the Five of Wands, bringing peace back in, showing an end to the strife. But we also have the Four of Wands and the Five of Wands indicating overall spiritual growth in the material world. So, all in all, I do look forward to meeting with you again. Until we talk again, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.